At HubSpot Academy, we talk a lot about content and about finding ways to give value to your audience on an ongoing basis through meaningful content. I'm sure you've heard the phrase that content is king. But in the world of social media, there are really two main things that matter: the content and how individuals on the network interact with that content. There are a number of different types of content specific to social media, many of which can be used on the variety of channels. Let's break it down. Text used to be the mainstay of social media. Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn were pretty text-heavy channels, but in recent years, they've shifted to becoming much more visual. In fact, Cisco reports that globally, consumer internet video traffic will make up to 82% of consumer internet traffic by 2022, up from 73% in 2017. Think about that for a second, and think about how much video you're doing already. Visual images include photos, infographics, animated GIFs, and illustrations. These days, you really only need a smartphone to take great photos. The possibilities are endless. Product shots, office and team highlights, conference selfies, customer spotlights, and more. You can share more than a single photo in many cases. For example, on Facebook and Instagram, you can create galleries and use photo carousels. Twitter and LinkedIn also allows for multiple photo uploads per post. Animated GIFs can take you one step beyond standard images. They can also help you demonstrate complex concepts quickly and easily, as in this example from SAP, in which they explain how AI will change the world.
The upside of GIFs is that they're visual content, they're highly shareable and searchable. NASA actually uses GIFs on their website to show weather patterns. So there's definitely a time and a place for GIFs. But if your users aren't using GIFs, and if you're using GIFs just to get a click-through rate, that's probably not the right reason to be using them. So be really intentional about using GIFs to communicate a message and tell a story.
You can make animated GIFs in Photoshop or online at a variety of sites. Giphy.com is the most popular. Video is the next big content bucket to consider. Did you know that marketers who use video grow revenue 49% faster than non-video users? Or that 59% of executives agree that if both text and video are available on the same topic, they're more likely to choose video.
There is no better way to reach your customers, whether you have a service or a product, than video. You can speak to them in so many different ways. You can speak them directly to camera like we're doing right now. You can educate them. You can entertain them. You can tell them stories. You can convey emotions like no other medium. Video is the only way to go.
Video can be used on every single social media site that I've mentioned. In short, you shouldn't ignore it. Live video is also becoming more common, and you can broadcast instantly from Instagram, Facebook, Periscope, which is owned by Twitter, YouTube, and a variety of channels such as Livestream. Video is not always cheap or easy to create, but you would be surprised at how often it is. Consumers appreciate brands being authentic on video, and sometimes that's easier with a smartphone than it is with an entire studio.
Live video is really, really important. And because we are doing businesses with other human beings, and live video really showcase the personality of a brand. And the best part of live video is live video gives our audiences lots of agency to co-create content with a brand. And the more time our consumers are spending with our brands, the more likely they are going to do the marketing for us. So you really want to leverage live streaming to figure out a way to engage our audience, to give their voice, to share their stories, to even let them influence what we are doing at our companies or organizations.
Short form video is popular these days with sites like TikTok and the Twitter-owned clone of the once popular Vine app called Byte. These sites allow for very short videos of 6 to 15 seconds. These videos tend to be entertaining, casual, full of lip sync videos and funny stunts. That brings us to the next type of content: stories. In 2017, we saw the rise of stories, which is a type of content that got its start from Snapchat and that Facebook copied for both its own Facebook platform and for Instagram. Essentially, stories are quick bites of content, both video and photo, often with fun filters and stickers that disappear after 24 hours. They're less posed, more entertaining, more casual, and tend to be more conversational than any other types of content found on those channels. And guess what? Viewers love them. 500 million people a day are viewing stories on Facebook and Messenger, and 500 million more are viewing stories on Instagram. Plus, stories are a great way to reach more audience if you don't have a lot of followers. A study by Social Insider found that brands with less than 10,000 Instagram followers succeed at reaching more than 9% of their followers with stories. Stories give brands the chance to share fast content that is often more economical to produce and delivers incredible brand awareness. When users view your story, they can choose to swipe up or down to see more, which can then take them to an offer or your website. So it's a great way to drive traffic. Polls are also a fantastic way to drive engagement through Instagram stories. Now, let's go over some other types of content that have the potential to help your business jump ahead of the pack. First, there are quizzes, surveys, and polls. You can engage your audience directly in Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter with polls. Check out this example from Evernote. This helps you build brand awareness and, more importantly, affinity. Plus, along the way, you'll receive some valuable insights into your audience that can help you boost other marketing and product efforts. B2C companies in particular have embraced real-time marketing. Real-time marketing is developing content on the fly for local, national, or global events happening online or offline. Doing so helps your brand be a part of larger consumer conversations, boosting both brand recognition and engagement. You'll sometimes also hear real-time marketing referred to as newsjacking, a term coined by marketing expert David Meerman Scott. Doing this kind of marketing requires a hyper-focus on a specific event using social listening. You'll also need to be able to generate content quickly, like Oreo and their marketing agency did for the Super Bowl in 2013 when the lights in the stadium went out. Or when HBO accidentally left a Starbucks cup in its popular Game of Thrones show, and Starbucks tweeted a witty response. In some cases, you can anticipate the content you need ahead of time and insert your voice into the conversation, such as sporting events, news, television shows, holidays, or fun designated days such as National Friendship Day. This brings us the two types of content that you actually don't generate yourself: influencer content and user-generated content. We love celebrities and give them enormous power to sway our opinions. And when they share content, people listen. Influencers are individuals that have huge, highly influential audiences. These influencers may have a global or national audience, such as a movie star or celebrity. However, social influencers could be individuals who began as bloggers or content creators in a certain field or on a certain platform and built an audience around their amazing ideas and visual imagery to amass a huge following. More and more, brands are finding that these types of content producers are more advantageous to work with than a celebrity, both from a cost and reach perspective. There are a number of influencer companies that will help you book individuals to develop or share your material. You can also build relationships with budding influencers who are creating amazing content and can help you stand out among the crowd. And finally, there's the holy grail of social content, user-generated content, or UGC. What is it, and why is it so important? UGC is content such as blog posts, tweets, posts, videos, images, or reviews developed by a fan of your company or products and shared on a social channel. It could be a video unboxing a product, a photo of a fan interacting with your company's swag, or designing other kinds of content to show their adoration for your products or the work you do. It's the best kind of social content for a reason. Stackla found that 79% of people say UGC highly impacts their purchasing decisions. They also determined consumers find UGC 9.8 times more impactful than influencer content when making a purchasing decision. That means user-generated content might be more fruitful than shelling out thousands or millions to work with an influencer. Here's a great example of UGC developed by the team at Innerwear in Mexico, sharing their excitement of completing a certification. We loved this photo and the enthusiasm of this team. But this photo does more than just make us feel good. It shows others that these individuals appreciate and are excited about learning with HubSpot Academy. It's a strong endorsement for our brand, one that potentially carries far more weight than any advertisement we could devise on our own. You can influence the creation of user-generated content by offering rewards, contests, or giveaways. For example, a photo or design contest. Or create a quiz and have people share their results. And finally, you can get creative with hashtags too, like how Whole Foods encourages shoppers to share pictures of their carts with the hashtag #WholeFoodsHaul. Hashtags are helpful for search, but they also enable the curation of specific types of content. You can create a branded hashtag to track a company effort or specific campaigns. If you've never created a hashtag before, it's simple, and you don't need any tools to create one. Simply put the before the word or phrase. Don't use any punctuation, including spaces between words. For example, the HubSpot HR team uses the hashtag HubSpotLife to showcase our fun culture.
One of the great things about living today is basically all the barriers of entry to create great content have somewhat been eliminated. With Premiere Rush on your phone, you can edit a whole video and post it on social. One of Refinery's top performing assets was an intern wrote an inspirational quote on a Post-it note and started taking photos on her phone with it in front of iconic landmarks in New York. So today, everyone really is a content creator, and the audience really appreciates the imperfections. So you no longer have to think everything has to be perfect. Also, social media, in a lot of ways, it's so ephemeral that I always tell my team progress over perfection. Just do something, put it out there, learn from it, and we can get it perfect in the future. But we'll know more by actually doing than just by thinking of doing.
As things continue to shift and change in the world of social media, there's bound to be new forms of emerging content. Don't be afraid to experiment with content types and different platforms, and also with the best times to share that content. There are a million studies that point to certain times being better for different types of content than others. The challenge with all those studies, however, is that the algorithms for social channels change regularly. What works well one week might not the next. A better bet is to dive deep into your social analytics to determine what content is really resonating and to do A/B testing to fine-tune your process. Now you know the basics to developing meaningful content for your social media audiences.